Welcome to another Monday Office Hours Live. I see we already have people in the comment. It's so cool that you're already here. So we have Connie, Linda, and Yasmin. I'm so happy to see you back here. If you're watching and you haven't said hi in the comments yet, please just do so. Today, I have decided to pick a very special topic, which is actually my favorite topic, the topic of mindset, because mindset is everything, not only when it comes to learning languages, but anything at all. And I know that people don't really answer well on average to the topic of mindset. Whenever I speak about it, some people tend to tune out, like, just teach us some words or some grammar, don't tell us about like this is BS mindset. But hear me out. The topic I have today is 5 misconceptions about learning French. And those 5 misconceptions are keeping you stuck. So it's fascinating to see that I just said bicep and have already lost 2 people. Seriously, don't stay stuck. Yeah, this is easy. This is not even a complicated topic, and I promise you it's gonna be nice. And by the way, I've decided that today is such a special day that I can actually get to speak about my favorite topic, even if it means that less people will listen. Because as Connie just said, today is my birthday. So she said "joyeux anniversaire," which means happy birthday in French, and I'm turning 36. I'm super excited because that means I've completed another 12-year cycle. In astrology, I'm entering the first house year, which means that the focus is on the self. And I don't know, I'm just excited about that, whether you believe or not, whether you believe about it or not. I just think it's something interesting to look forward to. So Yasmin is saying happy birthday. Thank you so much. So because we're in a pandemic, I am not in a capacity to do the same kind of birthday party as last year. Those of you who are friends with me on Facebook have probably seen my pictures from last year. It was a great party. It was actually the last event I've been part of, because then we went on lockdown the next week, like literally like a couple of days later. And Connie says, "You're so young." Well, thank you. I guess cool. It's only 3 times 12, right? That's young. I mean, compared to some people will think that it's old. I'm pretty sure. If you think that I'm old, don't say it in the comment. So what I've decided to do is that I would have my birthday, le goûter d'anniversaire. That's a very French thing to have, le goûter d'anniversaire, with you guys, like I did on the Facebook group when during the New Year. I was just live when it was midnight here, and it was a super fun thing to do. And honestly, it was the best thing I could do during the New Year because nothing else was happening. So yep, I've cooked some cake for myself. This is French cake. It's called moelleux. It's made with a ton of butter and icing sugar. It's delicious. It's my favorite cake. And I've made some meringue too. So that's just egg whites and sugar, and it's delicious and crunchy. And I have one candle that I think I can blow after I have told you about the 5 misconceptions about learning French. So yeah, Yasmin saying, yeah, it's delicious. I'll report later. I actually made 6 of those, and I already ate one. There's only 5 left. So, but I'm sure you want to hear not only about like my plan of birthdaying, but also about a bit of a French learning topic, right? Linda saying, "Oh, j'adore les meringues." That's les meringues. It's delicious. I love it too. And in fact, I made them because this recipe, the cake recipe here, when you make it, it leaves 2 egg whites. So it's made with 2 full eggs and 2 yolks, and therefore it leaves 2 egg whites. And I was like, oh well, since I have egg whites, I might as well make meringue. And I also had a bit of extra time this morning, so I'm super happy now because I love them and I don't make them so often. So, and they're delicious. So Steve is saying bon anniversaire. Thank you very much. You can overnight them to us, I'm sure. Yeah, depends where you are, but if you're in the US, the US Post is not doing so well right now. I mean, if I try to overnight that to you, it's gonna be there in 5 months or so, and it's not gonna be good in 5 months. Sorry, maybe I can post the recipe on Telegram. It's in French, but I will give you an opportunity to listen to French. C'est dommage. Yep, I agree. Je suis d'accord, c'est dommage. So, would you like still to hear about the topic that I have today? Oh, by the way, I haven't told you about my present yet. Or more like your present, my present to you. So, what I've decided to do, because I'm turning 36, is that this week, so between, well, it's already on until Thursday at midnight my time, so it's until Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, you can have 30%, 36% my age, of all the recorded courses that are on my website. So you have a link in the description, and it's the link towards the shop, and you can check out all the courses that are there. And between now and Thursday, you will get 36% off, and that includes the French Fluency Accelerator. And because my system was kind of annoying me, I decided that if you would join now with this code, you would actually keep this price month after month or year after year. So at the end of the day, it actually makes it, if you take the yearly subscription, it makes it the cheapest that it has ever been. And I was like, oh, what the hell? It's my birthday. Let's just do something crazy. So if you have been considering joining the French Fluency Accelerator for a while, that's the week that you want to be doing it, because it probably will never be cheaper. Even next week for my next year for my 37th birthday, the price will have increased in the meantime. So even with 37% off, if I do that again, it's not going to be cheaper. So that was what I wanted to put out there. This will also apply to the pronunciation course, which was released last week. If you haven't got it last week and you're like, oh, I wish I had got it, that's a new opportunity to get it cheaper than its main price, 36% off. And the French Life Launchpad as well, which I have been speaking about a couple of months ago. I know that some of you are in the French Life Launchpad already. If you want to share your impressions, please do so. If you have questions, you can always bring them to those Monday live, and I'm always happy, as you know, to answer your questions about any course or anything you've seen or any French release. So it's the office hours. The whole point of it is to answer your questions. Trickstar791 says, happy birthday, Angel. Thank you very much. So would you still like to hear about the 5 misconceptions about learning French that keep you stuck? Otherwise, I can keep rambling about how I'm celebrating my birthday in this real fashion on YouTube. Just give me a yes if you want to hear about that. And I also have a couple of exercises that we can do interactively so you understand it better. So I have 5. It's 5 misconceptions, 5 things that people tend to believe. Some of them may not look like they're completely related to learning French. You might have heard of those things in other areas, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So that will also apply to the rest of your life, not just learning French. It's one thing that I really insist on in my coaching, is that whatever you learn from me, you can take it to other areas of your life, and that will also apply there. So Linda says, we still to play. All right, so I want to say that the first one that I have is the most important and critical, which is why I put it first. But the 5th one, the very last one, is the easiest to action it and to get results fast. So if you want to get results fast and improve your French rapidly, you want to stick around until the 5th one. But don't fall asleep till then, because the first one is the most important. So have you ever heard of something which is called the self-image? Does that ring a bell, the self-image? If I tell you self-image, does that ring a bell? Please just let me know in the comments. If you know what that is, if you've heard the word, if you've not heard the word, if that's completely new to you, just let me know. Okay, so Linda says yes, but I'm not too surprised that you know about it, because I keep speaking about it, and you've probably taken all of my courses 50 times by now. No, not 50 times, but maybe 4 or 5 times. If anyone else has heard of the self-image, or if you have not heard of it, please say no, so I have an idea of where you are. And then the next exercise after, the next question after, if you know what the self-image is a, I will just tell you to do it, and I'll explain to you what that is. So Connie says she has not heard of it. Okay, so here's an exercise, and you can do that in English or in French. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. If you want to do it in French and practice your French, that's good. If you want to do it in English, it works just as well for this exercise. So please write I am, or in French, je suis. Let me type it so you know how it's spelled. Je suis. And then you want to complete the sentence. So put I am and whatever is true for you. Yasmin says, generally speaking, yes, but you must mean something else. I don't think that self-image can mean something else than what I mean to say, but we'll see. So yes, Yasmin, so je suis is what you want to write, but you also want to complete the sentence. So this is not an exercise in mindfulness. I'm actually reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle now, and he's basically saying that you could stop the sentence after I am, and that would be the complete truth, and that anything else would be, well, anything else basically is your self-image, which is what I'm going after? Is it like the ego? No, not really. The ego is a term that has been used in many different ways. It's not really what I'm talking about here. So can you just give me an example of a sentence that is true about yourself, which is I am, and then an ending. So for me, I could say I am French, and that would be true. Or I am an English speaker because I'm speaking English right now. Or I am wearing a purple shirt. Trickster says affirmations, perhaps. No, so I'm really not asking you to write an affirmation. I'm asking you to write something which is true about yourself. We start with I am. Okay, great example. So Connie says, I am a mother. So this is true, right? Connie, you have children and you are a mother. Yasmin says, je suis hollandaise. So you're Dutch. You're from Dutchland. No, not Dutchland. What is it called? The Netherlands. Sorry. I had like a block here. You're from the Netherlands, so je suis hollandaise. Right, so this basically says the truth about yourself. Like if you're going after saying something true about yourself, you will say I am, and then you will put that afterwards. Here's the thing. Everything you put after this I am is your self-image. So this is not necessarily what is true. It is how you perceive yourself. And this is the reason why the affirmations are so powerful. When we make I am affirmations and then we say something which is not necessarily true right now, but if we keep repeating it, we start believing it. That's the whole point. The whole point is to alter your self-image. So if you're after wanting to change something about yourself and your life, like for example, speaking a new language, that's a good idea to use I am affirmations for that, and or other techniques that will just alter how you perceive yourself. That's the whole point. So Linda says it's like the mental picture you have of yourself. Yeah, exactly. So all of us walk around with a mental picture of who we are. And here's the kicker. Like the thing that makes it so important is that you will always, 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 always comply with your self-image. There is absolutely no way out. So if you have a self-image that is disempowering you in some way, or even if you have a self-image that's empowering you, you will never be different from your self-image. So for example, if you take the example of Connie with I am a mother, one day you had your first child and then you became a mother and you decided to take on that new self-image as a mother and you started mothering your child. Before that happened, you had a different self-image which did not include being a mother. So you can see that your self-image can change, and you can change it through either events of life, like the birth of a child, or you can change it through making a decision. And this is super important for learning French, because if you do not see yourself as someone who can speak French, you will never be able to actually speak French fluently, or even worse, you might be able to speak French fluently, but you wouldn't notice it. And I have seen a number of people with very amazing French skills who either were able to, for example, write but not speak, which is kind of absurd when you think about it. Like it can only be a mental block when you're able to write but you can't speak. And it's not even because they can't pronounce, because they were able to pronounce if you made them repeat, but they just were blocked on the speaking aspect. And it's because they don't see themselves as a French speaker. So it's very important to start identifying as a French speaker, as opposed to someone who's learning French, or a Francophile, or an English speaker who knows some French, or however you would want to put it. So I would really recommend, from the very moment that you know any French at all, to just start saying, I am a French speaker. Because even if you know two words, even if you just know the je suis that I just taught right now, if it's the only French you know, you're able to say je suis, you're a French speaker. You're able to speak out some French words. You have spoken some French, you're a French speaker. So Linda is saying, I'm feeling seen. I'm not exactly sure which part of my speech you were reacting to, but happy that it resonates. So yeah, you can give it a try in the comment right now. You can say, I am a French speaker. If that feels too untrue to you, but that's too bad. That's basically proving my point. So I would really recommend just saying, yeah, I am a French speaker. I speak French. Probably that she can read it but not speak it. Oh yeah, it's true that Linda, you're able to read French quite well, but you can also speak okay. Last part I said. The writing. Oh yeah, it's true. Your writing is actually better than your speaking. Yep, I get that. Absolutely. So this is the first point that I had today. So you want to see yourself as a French speaker, even if you can speak very little French right now. It doesn't matter how much French you can speak, and in fact, the less French you can speak, the more critical it is to see yourself as a French speaker. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck. That's typically the main misconception that will keep you stuck. And if you do not shift this thing, you may be struggling to learn French for a very, very, very long time and never feel like you make satisfying progress, which doesn't mean that you're not making progress. You might be making tons of progress. But if you don't see yourself as a French speaker, you're not going to, well, see yourself as a French speaker. Like it won't happen on its own. You have to make a decision. So I hope that makes sense. Then the second misconception that I have is something you might have heard if you have listened to some personal development content of any kind, is that most people think they need to first have something, then they'll be able to do something with that, and then they will eventually be someone. That is in this order: have, and then do, and then be. So in the case of French speaking, that would be have some French word, or have some French skills, or have some capacity to speak French. And then do would be the speak French part, or interact in French, or contact French speakers, or whatever. So you first have your skills, then you do speak French, and then you will be a French speaker. Now the thing is that this is completely backwards. Like this can never work, because you cannot acquire the French skills that you want to have in the beginning if you first aren't a French speaker. So that ties back to point number one. You have to first see yourself as a French speaker. So it's the first be, and then you'll be able to do, which is speak some French. Like you can speak with actually any of the words that you have. Very few words can get you started, and then you will have the amazing French skills. So it's not have, do, be, it's be, do, have. So please tell me if that makes sense, if you have any question about that. Yasmin is saying, je suis une femme magnifique. Yes, I forgot saying that because it's my birthday. So I'm like, yeah, it's also Women's Day. True. This is the the Happy International Women's Day. So happy International Day of, wait, what is it? The full title, I think, is International Day of Women's Rights or something like that. So happy Day of Women's Rights to all the women, non-binary people, and generally non-cis male people who should be together in this day, because, well, there is no extra day for the other groups. So it's basically the day of all non-cis male people, including all women, non-binary people, and trans masculine people. So, yep. And it's also Women's History Month. Yep, true. Absolutely true. So do you have any questions so far about the first two misconceptions? So the first one is that you first need to start identifying as a French speaker, otherwise it will never happen. That's your self-image. You're always going to comply with your self-image. The second one is that you must not see it as having some French skills, then speaking French, then being a French speaker, but as being a French speaker, then you will be able to speak French. And then you will be having amazing skills. You can only build your French skills in this direction if you approach it this way. So first start self-identifying as a speaker, then do speak, and then have the amazing skills, or perhaps the great experience, or whatever it is that you want to have as a French speaker. So the third thing that I have, it's also one of my pet peeves. Je suis une speaker française. Yes, so actually how I would say that in French would be je suis francophone. Like francophone means French speaker. It's an adjective, but that would mean French speaker. So you can all type je suis francophone in the chat. That would be your affirmation for today. And even if you don't feel that it's true right now, it's okay. It's through slowly choosing to identify it and just repeating it to your mind that you will end up identifying this way. There is also an affirmation track for successful French learning on this very channel, and you can feel free to use it for that, and use it even every day. It's what it's for. So the third thing, also a huge pet peeve of mine, is that learning a French language requires hard work and requires effort. Does any of you believe that? Would you say that learning French requires effort, or that you have put in a lot of efforts to learn French already, and therefore that it is required? I'll be actually interested in your experience, because that's something I've seen in my students a lot, and some people struggle for years before they start working with me. And then I explain to them that actually no, there's no hard work required. It doesn't mean that there's no commitment required. Like the commitment is really important. There's a video also on this channel about the 3 levels of commitments, and I totally forgot what the title is. If I find it again, I'll link it up here. It's a video that hasn't been very successful because it's about mindset, and people just don't like to listen so much to mindset stuff, but it's very important. So the thing really that Yasmin is saying, merci, vraiment, je suis francophone. Parfait, that's what you want to be saying. So the third thing is that you have to let go of the idea that it requires hard work and that you have to work hard and suffer to learn French. Because the thing is, your brain will do everything it can to avoid pain. You're hardwired for that. You're hardwired to seek pleasure and to avoid pain. So if you impose some pain on yourself in your French learning journey, it will actually pull you farther from your goal, right? So you don't want that. It's completely counterproductive. So whenever you see something that you feel is difficult or frustrating, and I mean, there's a lot, like, let's face it, in French grammar, there's a lot of things that are hella frustrating. Like I confess it, like I love French grammar. I love teaching it. I love finding little refined things or finding new ways of explaining it and so on. But I still acknowledge that there are lots of things that if you let yourself be frustrated, you will be frustrated. But what I would like to invite you to do instead is to have a different attitude and to just be interested or even amused. Like if you see something that's not like English, which is often, right? Don't get frustrated. Just be like, oh, that's funny. That's interesting, right? It feels a lot more playful if you're like, oh, that's interesting, as opposed to, oh my God, that sucks. I'll never know that, right? You see the difference in vibration when we are speaking about those two things. Like, oh my God, that sucks. This is so frustrating. I hate this. I'll have to work harder. This feels heavy. This doesn't feel good. But oh my God, this is so funny. This is interesting, right? So that's really a shift that you want to make. And if you're in the French Fluency Accelerator, there are several workshops where I've already made this point, because it's just really important to keep yourself amused and interested. Sometimes it means that you have to take breaks. Sometimes it means that you will have more intensity in some moments of your life in your French studies than others, and that's perfectly okay, and that's normal. It's normal that there be fluctuation. And motivation is not something that is constant. Like, it can never be. In fact, I think the next course that I will release will be about motivation. It's already in the French Fluency Accelerator, so if you're there, you can already take it. It's the one I made last month. I'm thinking of releasing it now because it's specially tailored for the pandemic and for like being motivated in this very special context. So tell me if that's something you're interested in, and if you are, I'll seek to release it next week or something like that, with the help of my great team. So thank you, team people. You're amazing. Then we have a question. So why is it not un or une francophone? So I don't think it would be wrong to say je suis une francophone, because in French you can make any adjective into a noun. So you could actually say that. But in the sentence that I wrote, it's not un ou une because it's an adjective. So it's like when you say je suis hollandaise, hollandaise is an adjective as well. So you don't have the article. I hope that makes sense to you. Trickstar says growth happens in discomfort. It does. The thing is, there is a difficulty between discomfort, which is a light feeling of being perhaps disoriented or maybe slightly overwhelmed, and pain, which is a feeling of heaviness and extreme frustration. Like, you see, it's a difference of degree. Like, discomfort is good, pain is bad. So I hope that makes sense. Like, it's really a difference of intensity. So that was my third one. The fourth one that I have, super duper important. Guys, you have to stop being perfectionist about your French study. When you start, you suck. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you this way, but you have to, like, you cannot be great when you start, but you have to start to be great. So at the beginning, or maybe a long time farther down the line, your French will not be perfect. And in fact, perfect French is an illusion. I don't speak perfect French. Even today, I've had in some sessions which were very technical with some of my students, because they were speaking about their professions. And I had to Google words all the time because they were technical for low related topics. Or one of my students is a yoga teacher, and she was speaking about things in yoga that I actually happen not to know myself. And I had to look up the words, how they're said in French. My own French is not perfect. So how can you hope to have perfect French? It's not that I'm a reference. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who speak French better than me. It's not my job to speak French. My job is to coach people to become French speakers. I speak French very, very, very well because I have put an extreme focus on my French and my English, and on really putting those languages to the highest level that I can. And I keep progressing routinely. And I learned new French words today. I learned French words about law, which I didn't even know it was a concept. Like, I learned the words and the concept. You can always learn more. But in order to learn more, you have to be in the game. You cannot be waiting to have perfect skills or even good enough skills to start. You have to start with what you have. It's super important. And one thing that kind of dovetails with that is that you have to um, let go of thinking that natives are different from you. So that ties back to what I was saying at the beginning about the self-image. French natives do not speak perfect French. I just said that I don't speak perfect French, even though it's literally my job to teach French. But there are plenty of French people, even native French teachers, who don't speak perfect French. And actually, no one speaks perfect French because it's not a thing. So you have to not think that natives are this like ideal person. And it's very difficult because the language learning industry has made it extremely hard for you to not idealize natives. Like there's this all everywhere you go in every language school, they're like all our native teachers. And I don't know, it's as if being a native was like the guarantee that you speak well. And no, it's not. Like there are plenty of natives that make tons of mistakes, and plenty of natives who like don't know so much vocabulary. And worse than that, there are plenty of natives who could not actually teach. Like I happen to be a native and also be able to teach, but guess what? I have a master's degree for that. It does not come as a qualification for being a native. Now, if for you it's important to learn from a native, great, you can take my courses, you can learn from me because I'm a native. But I'm telling you, this is not what guarantees that I can teach you. What guarantees that I can teach you is that I have a master's degree and I've been doing this for, well, I guess I'm 36 now, so it's going to be 16 years. Wow, getting old suddenly. I've been teaching for 16 years and have been having this coaching business for 5 years, and it's really become my specialty to be a coach as opposed to a teacher, even though I was a teacher for, well, 11 years. And before I decided that coaching was the best way to help people learn French, in good part thanks to those things that I'm explaining to you now. That mindset is super important, and the fact that the average teacher never even dips into that. Like most of them will never have any idea of that. These are all things that I discovered after I decided to get really deep into personal development and become a coach. So, and this is the critical part. I know it sounds like maybe mumbo jumbo to some people. Some of them are already left. I knew it would happen. I just decided it's my birthday. You know what? I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to teach the things that really matter, because that's what will make the biggest difference for you. So we got some comments, like being worried about embarrassing yourself when you try to speak French. Yeah, so I have something to tell you, and I hope it won't make it worse for you, but when you speak French, you will embarrass yourself. And sometimes in life, you will embarrass yourself. Like this is going to happen. I like to call my very embarrassing Netflix and chill story. At the beginning, when I had that business, when I had my email list. So an email list is a list of people that you send an email to. If you get emails from me every Monday, that means you're on my email list. So I had that email list, and it was 400 people at the time. Now it's in the 2000s people. But 400 is already a lot to send an email that includes the phrase, "I love to Netflix and chill." And I didn't see anything wrong with that. I was just explaining the daily French bath. The daily French bath is, hey, by the way, first time I said daily French bath after 28 minutes. I think I'm being detoxed. Hey, seriously, daily French bath is important. So in that email, I was explaining that for the daily French bath, you just have to watch some French content, and you don't need to actually focus or even understand anything. You can be just chill. And for me, it sounded like Netflix and chill meant that. And then I got a reply that says, "Hey, I don't think you said what you meant, because Netflix and chill actually means like having meaningless sex with Netflix in the background, and it probably isn't what you meant in your email." And I was like, "Oh, damn!" And that's yeah, you're gonna embarrass yourself. And that was after I was already fluent, and I just didn't know. I used the phrase that I thought I knew, but I didn't know what it meant. This kind of things is going to happen. I also had an embarrassing situation on my very high school degree exam. So when I was in high school, I had a special exam for English because I have the quote unquote mention européenne, it's what they call it in French. So I went to this special high school when we had a lot of English, and we also had our history and geography classes in English, some of them. And then there was a special oral exam, speaking exam, that we had on top of all our high school exams for the equivalent of the A levels in Britain. And I know in the US you don't have a high school exam, but maybe it's like the SAT. And so we have that really, it's super important. Like it's a really big rite of passage for the French, for the French at all, actually. And I had this special exam, and I was asked to speak about my experience. And part of my experience in that thing was the trip to the US that I made when I was 16 years old with my class. It was a school trip. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to go back to the US since then. It's going to be 20 years this year. I'm a bit embarrassed about that, but I promise you I will return eventually. Probably not this year because you can't travel, but it's on my list. I'm going to do it soon. So anyway, I have that exam, and they asked me to speak about that experience. And as part of that trip, we had to write 2 reports. Yeah, they love to make you write reports in France, even if you're 16. Like it's a big thing. So we had to write one for the English teacher and one for the history teacher, and they all had specific questions. I remember there was a question about fornox, which I had never heard of at the time. So that's how I discovered what fornox was, and all sorts of questions about the US and the places we visited, and the language experience we had over there. It was a really, really cool trip. And but the exercises it was too much. Like we were overworked. Everybody was overworked in my year, because it was just this extreme situation. But I guess I did come out of it speaking English fluently, so at least that worked. And so I'm sitting in that exam, and what had happened is that I only really had time to make one report well. So my English report was done very well, but my history and geography report for the history and geography teacher, there's just one teacher in France, it's like they put it together for one subject. I just didn't have time to do it well. So I made it really short, really poorly done. And I told the examiner that I had to screw it. I didn't know that screw was such a vulgar word. I just kind of failed to see the little sign on the in the dictionary. Like I had this Robert and Collins dictionary for English and French that was ages ago. We had no internet. We had the internet, but hardly any. And dictionaries were just not online. We didn't use that, so we had like the paper dictionary. And there were signs when there were like the signs that were like, "Don't use this word." I just missed it. And I said that to like the 2 guys who were examining me and considering whether or not I should deserve to be called a certified European student who can speak English. And I told them, I didn't have time to do it, so I had to screw it. I wanted to say bâclé, which was the French word. Let me type that in, bâclé. And it means just, I actually still don't know how to say bâclé because the only word that I found was screw. And I know that screw is some woodwork thing situation, but also it means something else. And I didn't know. I only found out then. So among my best stories of embarrassing myself with English, I've done it during an exam. I've done it in an email that was sent to 400 people, everybody on my email list for my business. And yeah, I'm still alive. I still have this business. In fact, it's doing better than ever. I actually need to tell you that you frequently asked question. Yes, I do teach one-on-one. I have a coaching program that's called the French Transformation, which you can see on my website, but unfortunately you cannot sign up for now because it's booked out. So yes, I'm here, living proof, certifying that embarrassing yourself not only will not kill you, but also through being willing to embarrass yourself, you will actually become more successful. So this is super important. You have to be ready to embarrass yourself. Now, you might also not know to embarrass yourself in any situation at all. Like sometimes it can be pretty deadly. I do have clients who have like really important positions in law firms and in NGOs and in international business and in diplomacy. And sometimes you're in a situation where you don't want to embarrass yourself. So that's the importance of practicing in a safe space so that you have that space where you can actually embarrass yourself and nothing bad will happen. It's something that I pride myself of a lot in my one-on-one coaching and also to some extent in the French Fluency Accelerator. I'm pride myself of really creating the space where no matter what you do, you're good. And if you do something that would have been wrong in another situation, I will tell you so you don't have to make that mistake somewhere else. But the bottom line here on this 4th point is you have to be okay with not being perfect or not even being as good. So I hope that makes sense. I have a 5th point, which ties in pretty well to this one, but let me check a couple of comments because there have been so many comments. Oh, yes. Okay, so I was stopped after embarrassing yourself when you speak French. Yes, so I hope that you're less worried now. Yes, you will embarrass yourself. No, you won't die. So I hope that helps. Connie says, I don't think I could teach English even though I can speak it. Yeah, so you are actually more lucid about your ability to teach or not than the average language school director thinks about natives. So good job. That's self-awareness right here. Trickster says, I also came for you eating cake. Ooh. Are you someone that I know in another platform, Trickster? Tell me if you have an actual name. That would be useful. Um, Linda says, hell, I embarrass myself in English all the time, so French can get on board. Yeah, there you go. Like, just do the same in French that you do in English. Ooh, okay. That's a new record for daily French bath mention. Yeah, 28 minutes. Really late. Connie says, lol, that's funny. It's probably, you're probably laughing at me being embarrassed. Yasmin said, oh no, I didn't know that. Netflix and chill, maybe? Yeah, well, now you know. I remember getting that email and thinking, oh, honey, no. Yeah, you're not the one who replied to it and told me that it was wrong, though. I didn't know you were on the list for so long. It was ages ago. It was, I mean, I was not only still married, but I was living in the Nogatstrasse in Berlin. So that must have been in 2016 or early 2017. That was a long time ago. So Omo Waleyo is here. Bonjour. And Yasmin said, I didn't know about the essential either. Not everybody knows it. And actually, I share this story quite a lot as an example of embarrassing yourself. And many people, like when I share it in an email, some people sometimes reply that like, I didn't know that either. I think it's a local American slang, and maybe in only some places or maybe some ages use it. It's not that widespread. But that's what happened when you are non-native and you learn words out of context. Sometimes you can completely miss the point and decide to adopt an expression, and then shit hits the fan, as they say in English. And sometimes it's during an exam, but oh well. You have to be ready and willing, otherwise you'll just not do anything. Which brings me back to my fifth point, which is that some people will wait to start speaking forever. I often see people, students who are like, they know a lot of words, and I mean a lot, hundreds and hundreds of words, but they don't feel they know enough, and they feel that they can't speak yet. Now, this is absolutely deadly, and I told you at the beginning that my fifth point was the most actionable. If you are doing this, stop. Like, you have to start speaking now with the amount of French that you know, even if you know one word. If you should know only one word of French, it should be bonjour. Bonjour. And I mean, so many people have said bonjour. I assume you know how to spell it, but it's spelled this way, right? Bonjour. It means hello. It's the most important French word because in French, if you do not start an interaction with bonjour, people will think you're rude. So you will be always better off by walking up to someone saying bonjour and then go, do you speak English? If that's the only word that you know, then walking up and saying hi or like excuse me or something in English. You have to start with bonjour. So that should be the first word that you know and the first word that you use. And as soon as you know one word, ideally this one, you have to start speaking with that word. It's super important. If you do not start, you might never start because you will never come to a point where you feel you know enough to start. They're like, I mean, I don't know. It might have happened that one day someone with 5,000 words was like, okay, 5,000 words, I'm going to start now. But I've never seen it happen. And like I said, I've been teaching for 16 years and I've been a coach for 5 years, and I've never seen that happen. What I have seen is either people will procrastinate forever and feel they don't know enough and they need to learn more and just will not start, or people who will start because I told them, yeah, start now. So I'm telling you the same thing as I told those people, start now. I'm sure you know plenty of French words thanks to learning them here and there. And you have to start, you have to go ahead and make your mistakes. You have to embarrass yourself like I did many times. Like I said, still alive, not dead. My business is not dead either. In fact, I just realized that I typically do this with my hair down, and I put my hair up for some reason. It's how I do my client session. I don't like to have my hair in the way, but on YouTube, I just keep moving and it's fine. My hair can stay like it is. But yeah, that's where I was going. I don't know why I just got distracted by my hair suddenly. It's my birthday, okay? I'm allowed to. I'm allowing myself. What was I saying? Yes, I was saying that my business is successful because I'm silly and because I'm embarrassing myself, which probably maybe I just did again. It's the whole point. You have to embarrass yourself. Now, don't do it on purpose. There's no point in purposely embarrassing yourself, and in fact, it's kind of difficult to embarrass yourself on purpose. You can't really do that. You have to, yeah, it must include a notion of blunder, of doing something that you didn't intend to be embarrassed. So yeah, that's my takeaway for you. First, you will always have to comply with your self-image, but luckily you can choose it. So choose a self-image that speaks French, choose to be a French speaker. Then two, don't think that you will first have great French skills then speak French, then be a speaker. It's the other way around. Start identifying as a speaker, then you will speak French, then you will have amazing French skills. That's how you build the French skills, by first deciding that you are a speaker, then doing it, then building the skills. The third one, do not be frustrated, but instead be interested and amused. Be like, oh my God, I missed that one up again. Oh gosh, fifth time I make this mistake. Haha, how funny. I wonder how many times I can make it. Be amused. This has to be funny. This has to be interesting. This has to be a great experience. This has to be your experience of personal growth, of becoming the next version of who you are. And yeah, be amused, be interested. Don't let it be frustrating you. Don't let it be something that brings you pain, because when you are in pain, your brain will fight as much as it can to avoid staying in pain. So don't let the pain set in. Seek to be amused, seek to be interested, seek to do your daily French practice with things that really interest you. Listen to French music that you like. Watch French YouTube videos with attractive French speakers. Whatever kind of like physical French speaker floats your boat. The French speakers come in all genders, shape, and form. And yeah, like join me on Telegram. I keep sharing great things to listen to in French. Let me just find the link for you. Please give me a second. So yeah, so that was the third one. Just don't let yourself be in pain. Don't let yourself be frustrated. Oh, here it is. So the link for Telegram is here. I hope there'll be a chat replay for the people watching the replay. So yeah, seek to have more pleasure on your French learning journey, and don't let pain set in. Like if you're in pain, something is wrong. Do not accept it. Like I think part of the reason why I'm feeling so good in my life and I've had so many great progress and improvement and success lately is because I do not tolerate pain. I'm like, discomfort is okay. Discomfort is good. Discomfort is growth. Pain is never good. Pain is always a problem. You always have to seek to resolve the pain or solve the pain somehow, because it's not okay to be in pain. It's not something you should accept. 4 is to let go of perfectionism, and especially do not think that natives are perfect, because 1, they're not, and 2, that's the kind of thing that keeps you separate from them. And you have to have a self-image that sees you as the same as French speakers, not them separate from you. And the 5th is do not wait to start. If you wait to start, you may never start. Start now. Start even with 1 word. Start with however many words you have. So I hope that makes sense. I think I will light a candle. Well, first I will read all the many comments that have come in, and then I will light a candle and eat the cake. And if you have any question, be it about what we said today, about me, about my courses, about French in general, I want to remind you that you have 36% off all my courses this week until Thursday night. Thursday night for me, which I assume will be 6 p.m. Eastern. So try to sign up before Thursday if you want a course. Some of them are the cheapest that they've ever been, so that's a good idea to do it now, but don't wait, because it's only the special birthday thing. I wanted to do it just today, but I thought, some people will watch the replay and they should still be allowed in. So you have the link in the description, and I will now read the comments and have a little tea. It's become more of a common expression during the pandemic. Oh, the Netflix and chill thing. When I did it, it was ages before the pandemic. Definitely easier to learn something if you are playful about it. Yes, thank you for the testimonial. I 100% agree. You have to be playful, not painful, playful about stuff. Yasmin says, you're so funny. Thank you. I like to think that I'm funny. I hope you're not just laughing at me being embarrassing myself with Netflix and chill and other English blunders. Yep, it's David, and this is my YouTube account. Oh, cool to have you here. Also, people learn best from mistakes. Yes, in fact, there is a video on this channel about embracing mistakes and not being afraid to make mistakes. And that's the thing. So when I coach someone, I give them written homework, and the only thing that's valuable in their homework for me is the mistakes. So everything that you do well, yes, I will put a little green tick. Like if you learn one-on-one with me, you've got those green ticks, and I will comment so often on what you did good, because I want to insist on what you did well, for the sake of helping you improve and seeing the positive, because it's really important to see the positive. But the only thing that's really valuable for me as a coach is the mistakes that you make, because those are the ones that teach me what you can learn still. And that really helps me coach you. On the day that you don't make any mistakes, even if your French still isn't perfect, I have nothing to teach you anymore. Like, it's unfortunate, but I can only teach you as long as you are still making mistakes. Mistakes are really like the life of the coaching. Connie says failure is the greatest teacher. Absolutely. I mean, ideally, you won't want to fail too hard, but if that happens, then so be it. It's life. Uma Walayo says, I'm like this. I think I have to have a lot of vocabulary before I start speaking. Hey, seriously, Uma Walayo, I'm sorry for butchering your name like every week. I'm glad to see you every time and that you don't mind me butchering your name. That's cool. One day, please find a way to send me like a little sound file where you pronounce it. That will help me. It's seriously, I urge you to start speaking now. Like, use this chat, like chat in French with the other people. They will reply to you in French. You can use the free Facebook group. It's called it's facebook.com/group/French Fluency, or you can look it up as French Fluency Together Facebook group. So you can practice there, or you can practice. There are plenty of opportunities on the internet to practice speaking French. You can join the French Fluency Accelerator if you want, and then you can practice with us on the live classes. Like I said, you have 36% this week, so that could be a good idea to join now. And yeah, start now. Seriously, just start now. Like, if you have to, I said the last one is the most actionable. This is the thing. You want to start now. You have enough words. If you have more than one word, if you have more than 0 words, 1 word is enough. Okay. So I hope that that has landed. I'm gonna light a little candle for myself, and please ask the questions that you have while I organize my little birthday, celebration. Yeah, look at that. 9 people are looking at my birthday stuff right now. It's almost as many as I had last year, and we had no pandemic. I'm proud of myself. So who wants to sing in the comments? Well, that looks quite good on... do I have to sing my own song? Actually, maybe I could play it somewhere. I don't know. Like, let me see if I can do that. Linda says, Omar Walayu, I have started talking to myself in French. Oh yeah, great one. Talk to yourself in French. No one can hear you except yourself, so that's good. Explaining what I'm doing, like if I'm cooking, etc. Yes, it makes sense. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. Let's see what happens if I look up some YouTube video with the French song for Joyeux Anniversaire. Let me just put that down. I hope I won't set my hair on fire, because that might have been the reason why it was not done originally. Okay, let's see. Joyeux Anniversaire. If I play, oh no, I can't play it because it will be in my headphones. No, that doesn't work this way. Wait, I have solutions. Okay, so let's see. Now I have an ad, obviously. You can hear a German ad. Okay, do you hear a song now? The instrumentation is not great, but that will work. I could have looked that up first. I would have found a nicer one. Just didn't even think of it. I just wanted it now. Total spontaneous. That will be enough. All right. Woo! I have to clap for myself. Like, it's just, yeah, we do what we can in the pandemic, right? So that's the cake. I have several more. If you can manage to come here, well, I mean, David, you're here. Maybe you can manage to swing by like tomorrow or so. You can have some cake and some meringue as well. There will be some left tomorrow. So let me cut my own cake. By the way, please go ahead and ask me questions or make comments or say anything that will keep that conversation going. Because I love to be here for a full hour with you guys, but it's also cool if there are questions and there are things I can give input on. Do I also deliver? No, sorry, I'm too busy to deliver. I have too many clients and too much work right now. I can't possibly deliver. If you come by, I'll give you one. Hey, you don't live that far, contrary to the rest of the people on this live stream. You actually have the possibility to come by. What happened to the origin of your French course? I never saw the story of IG. I don't know what you mean. The origins of my French course, which one? So I have a French course which is called the French Fluency Accelerator, and it was originated in August 2019, and since then I have made monthly content, which means it's super valuable now. It has like 22 different workshops. I think it has exactly 16 workshops and 5 live classes. Still alive. I also have the French Life Launchpad, which is basically the core of my method. So it's the beginning of the French Accelerator, which has been put together in a small course so that it's digestible. It's about like 6 hours long, and it makes you go through the exact same system that I use with my one-on-one clients. So there are like 3 workshops, and I can actually show you what I use with my one-on-one clients, so you see what's in the Launchpad. And those are the courses that you can have this week for 36% off, because I'm old. Well, old or not old, depending on how you look at it. Like if you're older than me, you're like, oh, you're young, cool. Anyway, everybody gets 36% off because I'm as old as 46. You're serious? I just picked only 2 pages. Damn. All right, so this is the kind of French learning plans that I use with my one-on-one clients. So these I make for you when you work one-on-one with me, which you can't right now because it's booked out. I actually have 9 clients for 7 spots, so too many. But by the way, when the students who are in the French Fluency Accelerator will have the first dibs to the coaching spots when they become available. So I will announce the coaching spots in the French Accelerator first, and then only if there are some left, I will announce them on Telegram and in my email. But this is what I use with my one-on-one clients, and this is also the French learning plan that you can make for yourself in the French Life Launchpad. And basically on those 3 pages, there are everything you need to create your own French life. And so the first workshop in the French Life Launchpad will allow you to create this document, which is the list of everything you need to learn in French. So these are all topics that you need to learn in French. And the thing about this list is that it's personal. Depending on who you are, you will end up with a different list. So I have a full workshop that explains to you how I create this list for people, and I walk you through the process so you can create the list for yourself. This is super valuable. This is the most valuable document you can ever have in your French study. This thing alone will make you learn French 10 times faster than if you used any other method, just because you will learn 10 times less things because you will focus. So it's not magic. It's not like it makes you learn the same amount faster. It's because it zeroes in on what you need to learn. So that's super valuable. There is also a free version, which is called the French Fluency Worksheet, which you can have at frenchfluency.net/worksheet for free, or in the French Fluency Starter Kit, which is also free. But it's only just on 1 page with a little bit of explanation, while in the French Life Launchpad, it's not free, but you have a full workshop walking you through how I do it, and it works. Some people have done it very successfully. Some people, students of the course. And then the other next page, no, actually, wait. I don't remember in which order it is in the Launchpad, but you have 1 workshop for each of these pages. And so this one is about your activities and schedule. It's what you need to do every day, every week, and every month to learn French and stay on track. It's nothing very complex. It's just a routine that you have to stick to. And in the course, I teach you how to organize your routine so that it doesn't disrupt the routine that you already have. Because the key to a successful French learning routine is to have it integrated in the routine that already exists. And this page, this is the page that my one-on-one students love the most, because that's where I collect resources that they will love for themselves. There is a workshop that explains to you how you can find all of these resources and the way that I found them in the first place. So basically everything I know and everything I do for my one-on-one clients to create their French learning plan and their French life is in the French Life Launchpad, and that's why it's called the French Life Launchpad. And there is also my pronunciation course, which I spoke about extensively last year in terms of how old I was, but last week. And that is a course to help you master French pronunciation, which is totally exclusively tailored for English speakers, so native English speakers. If you're not a native English speaker, it might not be the best for you because it's made for English speakers. So those are my courses that are available now. And if you enter the code happy36, happy with a big H, it's in the description too. You'll have 36% off this week until Thursday. So enough ramble about that. I'm happy to eat more cake. We have 5 minutes left. Let's see if there are any other questions. So, oh man, if you're old, I'm a fossil. Or maybe you're a fossil. Like my watch. My watch is a fossil too. It's written on it. Fossil. I think it's actually made in the US. I just was kind of lucky to find it here. Connie has children older than me. That happens. Steve is 72 years old, twice my age, and doesn't consider himself old. Well, good. Like that's what you want to do, right? There's no, I mean, unless you consider that old is a good thing. I really don't understand why we live in a world where old is a bad thing. Like it used to be that if you were old, you had a lot of experience and a lot of things to share, but nowadays somehow old is a bad thing. Like I don't feel that I lose things as the year go by. I feel that I gain things. Like this year, I am so much better coach than I was last year. I'm a so much better business person. I know a lot more about everything. I am more spiritually enlightened because I've got farther on my spiritual path. And yeah, everything is, if you lead your life in a way that goes towards your goal, each new year that you have will be a year that makes you better. So, and that's until you eventually die at an hopefully very, very old age. So yeah, 72 years old sounds amazing to me. Sounds like a great age. I look forward to being 72 years old and having twice as much life experience as I have now. So anything else you want me to ramble about? I love rambling, but you know that. Yeah, this is tasty, but I'm actually kind of full now. This is crunchy. So no questions? If you do not ask me questions, I will have to keep eating my cake alone. Yasmin says 60 is the new 40, I heard, which would make me 29, and certainly I feel like 29. That's pretty cool. I don't really remember how 29 feels like, but this is green tea. I can show you the color. It's this color, and it's green tea with cherry blossoms. It's a Japanese tea. I'm actually, probably you know that already, but I'm a huge tea lover, and I love to have different teas. I actually, one thing I plan to do for my birthday tomorrow, because tomorrow I do not work with clients. I only work with clients on Thursdays. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And the other days I do other things. So tomorrow I plan on going to the Tone Center and buying some more tea for myself. I'm kind of running out. And I'm a little bit worried that they will go on lockdown again and they will close all the shops again and we won't be able to buy the stuff that we need. So tomorrow I know it's open. I'm going to go. You guys, I haven't been to a restaurant in ages. I think last time was in November, just because the restaurant have not been open. And I love going to the restaurant. I'm really frustrated right now with that. But hey, we're in a global pandemic, so I guess we got to make some sacrifices. At least I should be, or actually I am pretty grateful that I get to work normally and that I have set up my business in a way that is not impacted by, well, it is impacted by the pandemic because people can't travel and it changes the situation of my clients. But it's not that bad compared to so many other people. Like I'm very happy and I consider myself very lucky. There is a French one called Elephant. Oh yeah, the elephant tea. I don't think we have it here either. There are several elephant, right? Like there are different flavors of them. I haven't had that in ages because I haven't been to France in ages because pandemic. But yeah, same story. It is delicious. The tea is delicious and the meringue is pretty good too. Very glad I made that. I should do it more often. It's actually not hard to make. So does anyone have another question? If not, I'm going to dash because we're just on the 1 hour mark. No, but I really want those recipes in Telegram, please. Okay, I'll do that. So this cake is from a book that's called Craquer pour les moelleux, and I have it as a digital picture on my computer, so I will share it on Telegram. But I will also give you the connection of the book. Connection. What is it called? The link, the reference of the book, so that you can find it, because it's an entire book with only those little cakes. Actually, they have two books. There's one for the sweet ones and one for the savory ones. And there's this whole collection called Craquer, which is, it's always Craquer pour and whatever, and that's a set of French books, and they're just excellent. It's always something different. So I have a bunch of those that I have been using, but this is my favorite recipe of them all. All right. Any other question? We are on the 1 hour mark. So historically, I've always been leaving after 1 hour. So I'd like to stick to that, unless you have a question right now. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your birthday, Angel. Thank you, Connie. That's so nice. David's saying, I'm going to have to leave since food just arrived. Bon appetit. Enjoy the near target. Bon appetit to you. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. So it's also 8 p.m. for you. Have a good evening, and I'm gonna dash too, because, well, it's been an hour. As usual, it was a pleasure to be live with you. I wonder if we have broken our record, and if we finally have broken the 100 messages in the chat. There has been a lot of messages today, so maybe we did break it. I'll see. I'll report to you in Telegram. If you are not with me on Telegram, when you are missing out, I'm just going to share the recipes for those two on Telegram in about the next 5 minutes. So if you're not there, click the link. If you do not have the Telegram app, I hear everybody's downloading it anyway, because people are leaving WhatsApp like crazy. So it will be useful to you. And then you can listen to more of my shenanigans, not just on Monday, but on any day of the week, whenever I have something to share. Typically a daily French bath or something I want to share about French culture or French language, I will post it in there. Sometimes I will also be special offers. It's the best place to be aware of when there is a new course, because as soon as there's a course out, I'll post it on Telegram, just because it's so easy to post it there. So yeah, Telegram is like the place where you can get more of my French shenanigans. And if you're here listening, it means that you probably like it. So please join. All right, I will go. Thank you guys for being here with me again. It's always a pleasure to see you every week. Something I need to tell you. Next week, because you have the start of the daylight saving time in the US on Sunday, I think that it will be 1 hour earlier for you guys. So please watch the little announcement. Like, please watch what YouTube will say, because it might be an hour sooner. And I think for 2 weeks, it will be an hour earlier. So it would be at 12 p.m. Eastern and 9 Pacific, something like that. Please, just don't trust me, trust the little YouTube thing, because we are going to the moment when you guys are changing your time and we change our time later. So there's always a moment of floatment. And I'm actually a little bit worried for my client sessions, because every year it's just complicated to make sure we show up at the same time because of that. But yes, just make sure you check the little thing so you don't miss me by 1 hour. All right, so Linda says, always mess up the daylight saving time. Yeah, I've been messing it up every 6 months. I'm really annoyed. So this time I'm paying super attention. My calendar is marked. I'm telling everybody who has, well, actually, I should tell you, Linda, because you also have a session on Sunday. Everybody who has a session, especially on Sunday and on the next Monday, I'm just being extra careful and telling everybody to pay attention to that. All right, Umawalayo says, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I'm going to dash. I'm already 3 minutes over time. But thank you, guys. That was awesome. And I'll see you next week. Bye.